Coming up on Look Today, Tesla, the automotive company, they're installing charging stations in the parking lot at the Aviation Mall in Queensbury. I've got details. And Washington County Soil and Water Conservation District will receive close to $2 million in state funding. More on that coming up. Plus, Take a Bite in Glens Falls becomes a signature event for the city this summer. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I sit down with Paul McCarty. Now he's an historian from the Old Fort House Museum in Fort Edward. He's here to talk about the local story behind 12 Years a Slave. I also sit down with Jeff Clark. He's the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity. He's here to talk about the important work the organization does for our community. But first, we've got these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, well, in an ever-changing economy, people are looking for more viable environmental and economic options. Well, in our upstate region, there are locations that are taking that step into the future. Aviation Mall in Queensbury is currently installing Tesla charging stations in the northeast section of its parking lot. Now, this will be a key pit stop for those who are driving long distances in their Tesla electric cars. Now, that will help the routes between New York City and Canada. Now, currently, there are no Tesla dealerships in our area. However, providing charging stations will be a step in the possible future for electric cars in our region. Well, we spoke to Danielle Kienzior. She's the general manager of the Aviation Mall.
Well, Tesla is very strategic in where they choose their locations, where these Tesla chargers are important, and they found that the Queensbury area is the perfect location for these chargers. It's going to get the Tesla customers from point A to point B when they're traveling, and it gives them the opportunity to utilize our amenities here at Aviation Mall. So aviation being so accessible right off the Northway and having the amenities that it does, it was the perfect partnership.
Wow. In other news, Washington County will receive more than $1.7 million in grants to address pollution on farmland and in its water supplies. Now, the funding is part of a statewide initiative. While addressing pollution and erosion, the funding will also allow the district to install drainage systems and isolate sediment deposits that affect nearby rivers and canals. Important step. All right, switching from news to weather. Today was especially hot, you could say, with temperatures in the 90s. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, lately it seems like Glens Falls has been coming alive with signature events happening in the community every single week. Now, those who find themselves downtown will most likely see crowds of people and hear live music any night of the week, but especially if it's Wednesday. The Take a Bite event is one of the signature events. Every Wednesday during the summer, local restaurants offer samples of their food and affordable dishes outside all over town. There's live music on every corner, only adding to the great atmosphere of downtown Glens Falls. Well, we spoke to Rich Serino. He's the president of the Glens Falls Collaboration.
Well, it's important to the community because it gives people who might not otherwise have the opportunity a way to sample several different restaurants they haven't tried before all at once. The servings at Take a Bite are small, walk-around kind of portions, anywhere from $1 to $5. So someone, instead of supper, come on down to Take a Bite, try a few things, try some new things, and get acquainted with the fine restaurants we have to offer here.
My wife and I were down there last Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, we're going to be down there tonight again. All right, in other news, in last night's Glens Falls Common Council meeting, the city decided it will apply for a $200,000 grant to undertake a green infrastructure project. Now, the project involves collecting rainwater runoffs from selected roofs in downtown Glens Falls. Now, this will be preventing excess storm water from entering the sewer system. Now, there'll be more details on this. We just got news of it, so we wanted to let you know, but we'll keep you updated as we gather more details. Coming up next, I sit down with Paul McCarty. He's an historian from the Old Fort House Museum in Fort Edward. He's here to talk about the local history behind 12 Years a Slave. Very interesting interview. Plus, I also sit down with Jeff Clark. He's the executive director for the Habitat for Humanity, and he's here to talk about the important work the organization does for our community. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Well, tonight's Lookout has to do with Look TV. We got some news for you. We made the jump to fiber. Yes, we did. So that means all of you that watch us on big screen TVs, the picture is going to be a lot clearer. Now, this is something that we've been working on for about a year, so we're very excited about it. The only bad news, of course, is that you'll see me in more clarity, so maybe we should get out the fog filter. What do you think? Okay. Tonight on Look TV, it's the Saratoga City Council meeting. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.